Baby, we're fragile. We've always been so tough. I had to drag you back here. Oh, acting like a prophet. There's been no vehicles on this road. And this is concerning because there's like, what the fuck is with this? Alright. Oh, acting like a prophet. I don't like that. I especially don't slow down and turn around, fucking bitch wad. I will eat your goddamn chickens. I'll run into that hutch like a fox and eat them. Okay, I hope that you were picking up on the audio there, because I had my headphone jack in, but basically, I'm just driving down the road, and then suddenly two cars appeared when there was no cars previously for the entire drive. The mood is nice. I drove around panicking. Should I go to the gym? Should I go to the gym? Should I go to the gym? And I can see myself at the gym. But the voices in my head were saying, no, 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 go down. So I was like, fuck, I'll turn around. And then when I turned around, they tried to get me to go down. Maps tried to put me on this back road that went right through a river. It was like private property, or they made it seem that way. It was for side-by-sides. It's not for vehicles. These right in here, all those little sort of bionicle looking Toa Matu chambers, it's those are baby cows, man. This is a dairy farm. And then what's near the dairy farm always? A fucking trailer. I guarantee you they ain't got no floor in there. Niggas ain't got no floor in their trailers. Every time I go into a trailer, that shit look messed up if it's not in a park with regulations. All these trailers like on private property, when you go in them, they're living in squalor. They are not doing well in them trailers, man. Anyway, I had these high beams blaring at me. The car was like a foot away from my license plate, so I was like, fuck, I'll just turn off to the side. Then they pulled up and said it was Border Patrol, being like, what are you doing, man? And I was like, oh, I didn't even know you were cops. I just saw it close. Their headlights are bright. I just figured I'd let you pass. So like, oh, okay, have a good night. And I was like, well, they didn't. Well, okay. And then they took off. And then I said, have a good night. Oh, acting like. What was that in the bush? No, no, no. Yeah, I don't think I have service. There's someone in the bushes. There's someone in the bushes. I seen something, brother. I saw you. Are you okay? Yeah, there's just, I live somewhere where there's no service at all. But I went to the top of the mountain. I went to the top of the mountain where we do have service. Oh, acting like a prophet. People been seeing some shit as we're driving. They call that the dragons. I guess it's like a group of people around this area that their last name is Dragon. I was like, do you mean the clan dragons? And they're like, no, no, those are a bit more east, like in New Hampshire. But yeah, the Dragon family drags their trucks around, and that's their calling card, because they're a bunch of whatever. You thought you got killed by the bushes? God just won't let me die. As much as I want to, I can't. Like that video! Smash that like button with your nose! You can't even see how nice it is, man. And they built farms on it. They built farms on the mountain. We thought you crashed. I wish I would, man. Where's the black dog? Tell me I'm gonna die if I keep going so I can. Emo! Emo! Like this peeping Tom, and I'll record them while they're hanging out. And I will tap on their windows when they think that and they'll think it's a tree, but really it's me. And I'll go, next time you fart, can you open the window so I can smell it? Please. I need this. Then they'll grab the shotgun and I'll my legs will turn into wheels and I'll take off like Wile E. Coyote or Roadrunner. I got a guitar off Marketplace. That's where I went. When I went out to someplace 20 miles away and struck night, somebody would have snagged it. So I got a cat tree for the pigeon. I'm concerned, guys. I could not find the pigeon. I really tried to find the pigeon. What world are you in? I don't even know if we're in the same world. We might just be in like our realities might be completely different. Holographic simulation vibes. Where the fuck? Okay, I know where I am. Alright, I know where I'm at. And we could just be sort of blending together. Like, the other day, my mind opened a bit too much, and I saw me in a penthouse with my childhood crush. And I saw that she was washing dishes, and we were kind of in love. Like, we were definitely in love, but I wasn't as, like, wacky and zany as I am. I was more put together and wealthy. And I felt like, that's you in a different life. Like, if things had gone different, you would be rich in a pamper, fighting off a rash, neglecting a bird that needs help because you're scared to get rid of it because you don't want to be alone. You know, shit happens. I'm just glad I'm not like, I was engaged almost at one point, and I'm really happy that it didn't work out. Like, I think I loved her, but I think I was mainly with her because I didn't want to. Yeah, now that I'm talking, the service works. So thinking it was cool, and then she wouldn't be able to see me for who I was. All she could see was me as the way that those girls saw those guys, and I couldn't function enough to show that I wasn't like that. So I had to sit there and see the lie take a hold, like the false image of me, because I couldn't create well enough to. And that's transactional shit with relationships. Like, they're always expecting you to act a type of way, or else their opinion of you will naturally decay and they'll look for somebody else. That's what's keeping me from relationships. I don't want to be a dancing monkey for my whole life. You know? And I'm starting to realize that I go for girls that are extremely attractive, and those extremely attractive girls don't really develop much of a personality. And their life is so much different. Like, their life is just sort of, they've been warding off sexual advances since they were 10 years old. They see the world completely different. Sometimes I can step into their shoes and sort of empathize and see that it's not that, it sort of teaches me how to act differently around him. Like, I'm kind of starting to get it, especially when I take care of animals. I'm starting to get. If there was a world full of me's, there would be no problems in the world at all. If the entire world was cases we would have found aliens by now because we'd be bored as fuck and we would have solved every problem on Earth. Like, my life is boring because I must have been a Tibetan monk in a past life, I think. Like, I naturally understand everything I do doesn't matter. Like, I naturally understand everything I do doesn't matter. Every trench has been so tough. What was I saying? Oh shit, I was saying, mommy made me mash my M&Ms, yes, yes, mommy me momo, mommy me momo. I was saying that there's no point to life, and although I feel called to lead a massive amount of people to victory and free them from all their problems so that we can create great artwork and do legendary things, at the end of the day, I feel like none of them deserve it. All the people I've tried to save treated me like shit, didn't deserve it, but I believed in them and saw their potential, and they just wouldn't. You know, like, I can naturally see everything that when I meet people, I know exactly what they need to fix their life completely. And the problem with me is that there's a cat running left to right. That's my problem. Fuck you, cat. You feline fuckwad. I'll eat you. General Tso's chicken. So, I think I was saying, when it comes to my life, I lack the resources, but when it seems like when I'm trying to help other people, the resources are abundant. I don't understand why Christians are so overzealous, I guess. Like, they will really throw Jesus at me like they're trying to destroy the devil, which is bright and it's great energy. I'm like, great, but I'm like, why can't you channel that into working with me to build amazing? How come you can only activate Jesus when I tell you about how cool life could be? It seems like you think anything that challenges your limiting beliefs is... I'm learning most people are too afraid to do anything. And the other amount of people are so fucking judgmental. Like, I can't... All those people that I saw in church last week, and none of them fucking talk to each other. None of them talk to each other. None of them work together to build things. And when I went to the groups, the church groups at that church, all they did was gossip about other shit. They were talking about shit lower than their state of consciousness. To gossip about stuff, usually you're lowering yourself. You think that you're placing yourself above others, but really what you're doing is lowering your focus to talk about negative things. It doesn't make you above the other person. It makes what you focus on a lower vibration. It has nothing to do with those other people. And then that feeling that you're above them isn't real, because you are what you do, and what you're doing is lower vibrational. I'm trying to get as many people as possible to come help me clear out all this brush and start building cool shit on this property to impress the open connection to nature that's that releases inhibitions and dispels any hindering influence. They don't work as great as they used to, but they did work once. This is the golf course where when I drive by it, rich people look demonic. They have like darkness in them. And when I drive by, they get really triggered. And I was like, how did you get to that point in your life? Charles in the trees? You better not be. Yeah, I'll go this way. Something told me not to go to the gym, so I went live instead. This is for sale. It's like 50 acres, but it has to be commercial. You have to build a warehouse there. I mean, New York was definitely better looking, but there wasn't anybody out there. And it was really expensive. Here, it's not as great in terms of like the 3 different views, but I mean, on average, there is a lot more views. I just don't like the trees here. I think I just need money. Do I want to be a streamer? I'd like to be famous. The way that Jacksepticeye went on Alveus Sanctuary and Maya brought him a bunch of different animals and he just kind of shot the shit for an hour and he made probably 30 grand in that hour. And then everybody clipped it and were like, he's so cool. I'd like that. I'd like to be at Alveus Sanctuary and go, you kind of look like an animal. And she goes, what? And I was like, yeah, you look kind of like an owl. You have owlish features. Can I see your emu? Emu. And then I go out to the emu and it tries to peck me. And then I feed it some mice. What do emus eat? Maybe I'll feed him a Domino's pizza. And then she'll bring me a crow as a joke. And I'll be like, you've done something unforgivable. And when the crow comes out, it'll start yelling at me naturally. And I'll go, ah! Sorry. I'm a crow at this point. I don't like people in their 20s that are focused and healthy adults that have social lives. I think something's wrong with them because there's nothing wrong with them. If I can't see your mental illness clearly, there's something wrong with you. I think you're a psychopath. And I'm scared of you. If you're not completely authentic, I think you're doing shit behind my back. All-American Sport RV. I'm tired of seeing J.O. campers because I hate people with the name J. I hate people whose names start with J, like Jaden or Jordan or Jimmy or Justin or James. I've never met anyone with those types of names that I like. I can't fucking stand them, man. I think they suck. I think they're losers. And I think they're NPC bots sent to ruin my life. In contrast, I think people with the name K are pretty cool. I like people with the name K. Like Kayla or Kylie. Speaking of Kaylee, I don't remember her name actually, but when I was like young, I was hanging out at a play date, I guess, with a girl that was in our Section 8 complex, and she had a Scooby-Doo shirt, and I liked the way it smelled. I liked the way she smelled, and she liked the way that I smelled. So we traded shirts because it felt like I don't know, to me it felt like a hug or something. It wasn't like I want to wear a girl's shirt, because it wasn't a girl's shirt, it was just a shirt. Like we we were trash. We were in Section 8. We don't have boys or girls clothes. We have thrift store clothes. But we traded shirts, and then they came in and were really mad that we traded shirts. And I was like, I mean, yeah, she did have, like the ancient being that sort of like was always like holding on to my shoulder. Child has titties, but I didn't care. That she was a girl, but we were also like 5 years older. Being did, so I could recognize why the adults were upset that we had traded shirts, but I was like, the energy was so different in this thing. Glad I didn't, because and I would have ran out of gas. So we're gonna make sure that a lot of foxes I've noticed. So I'm concerned for my friend, because I didn't see him when I got in the car to go get this, and then my life, the Casey life. The first thing that happens is some random stranger walks up to me and goes, "My wife left me," and he tells me he just randomly lives on the road that I live on, and I tell him, "Hey man, I'm trying to get a gym as soon as I get enough money." That's what helps me in life is, if I feel attacked or drama or anything, I just go on the treadmill, and that seems to be helping me a lot. So when you can focus and improve every day. Asian fan. Did anyone find my pigeon? It's gone. I don't even feel his energy. I think my pigeon died. I can't find my bird, man. Oh shit, is that you? I'm walking around and peeing at the same time. I think that is him. I think that is him. Is that you? Yeah, it's... I hope I didn't show my schlong in the live stream. Anyway. Got him this entire mansion over there. He sleeps on a fucking pallet. I built him an enrichment center, and he sleeps on the goddamn pallet. Asian fan. I like to eat cats. Alright. Let's get this. And now it's quiet. The energy is very weird lately. Good night, Unala. I'm going to watch The Legend of Korra. Okay, that's concerning. I know you did it, CIA. You fucked up. The gang stalkers That's actually really concerning. Things are not how I left it, and I left at fucking 11 at night. So I know nobody came up here. And things are different than when I left it. Subscribers do you have, Haley? I'm not trying to ego you. It's just you. Your channel says YouTube channel. I'm assuming you're a YouTuber. I live in this mess. Oh shit! We gotta go back out. I have tick bites everywhere. I've been sick for a while. I might have tick-related diseases. I couldn't find you before. Did they replace you with a government drone? There you go, buddy. We're back to being friends again. If you want to crawl in there, I got you a cat tree. And I got a bunch of chairs. He's going to be so fucking enriched. He can crawl in all this shit. But look at what I found. Oh, and I got a dog harness. And I found a native picture frame too. I thought he was going to go up there, but he won't. I'm building this bird and enrichment center. And he's going to be so goddamn enriched. Huh? I don't like the vibes tonight. Things are kind of weird. Things are kind of weird in the castle. The fuck is that white stuff? I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. Oh, we'll have to do it in the morning. Oh, acting like a prophet. Bam, 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 bam. We're gonna fix this. Let's see what this guitar looks like. Where's the fucking zipper? You think that vapes are demonic? Like, people that vape literally can't put it down. I knew it was a Taylor guitar! I've wanted a Taylor guitar for a long time. Wait, there's 6. Oh, there's white stuff on this. How'd you know? Are you prophetic, man? That there's fucking mold on this guitar. Oh my god, look at it. That is nice. This is a nice guitar. Look at the inlay. Holy smokes. That's nice. That is really nice. Let's try to find my tuner. Tuner. I like smaller guitars because I can walk around with them. Like, this is my Year of the Snake guitar. You can tell because it's the colors that I said the Year of the Snake would be. And it's a snake pattern. So this is my horse guitar. This is my fire horse guitar right here. It's pretty cool. Now, which one of you took my fucking... Can someone turn the heat on? There's no electricity in this RV. Can someone give me 20 grand, please? I just saw my hand. I saw the reflection of my hand, and I thought that it was somebody outside. Did any of you think that? That was fucking creepy weepy. Holy shit. I'm just gonna move my trash around instead of using the trash bag I literally put over there because I can be fucked. Why would I clean up my trash, man? You think I'm retarded? You leave trash on the ground. That's the best way. So that you can't find anything. Yeah. Oh, I did find it. Okay, now I just need my light. But there's enough charge on this one that we can use this as a light. We're gonna fix it. Blair Witch. Was that scary? Did I scare you? Oh, let's lock my car. And rip this Veep. You know what though? Once I scrub the shit out of this room, so there's no more mold. Oh my god, I just had it too. Where did I put the fucking tuner? Guys. What the fuck? Where did I put it? What the hell? What the hell? Where did it go? Where did he go? This makes no sense to me. I just had it. And I couldn't have gone anywhere because I didn't go anywhere. What the hell? Yeet. It was on the bed. You seem a lot different than when you first started. What are I looking for? How old are you, Haley? First started, do you mean in 2020? I started my channel in 2020 on August 23rd. A lot of shit has changed. But yeah, I don't feel like myself. I know this has got to be somebody's mom or ex-girlfriend or something threw this guitar out because this is a nice guitar. And this guitar is probably $500. Probably more. And the sound is really nice. Listen to that sound, man. I hear voices in my head. It gets worse when I get out of bed. And I don't trust that I'll find a love. stand. So leave me be and let me smoke my cigarettes. 'Cause deep inside I'd rather be dead. 'Cause I make choices that lead to dead ends, led by a broken mind afraid of itself. And I just can't find no one who can look at me with respect. 'Cause the cops gave me trauma and the crows ate the rest. I don't know how to be human again, so don't talk to me, 'cause I'm tired of pretending all good things should end. Where do I find stuff? Marketplace. You can't see the fucking guitar, so that's not good for content. There we go. Dude. All day all I see is you, hiding from unspoken, hiding for some broken purpose. I'll never be good enough, but I'm dying to be. I've been talking to a 45, and I think it agrees with me. It ain't my fault they kicked me my whole life and left me out dysfunctioning. And I wish you would call me back so I can hear you hide the truth. We got something wrong inside, and that's why I'm in love with you. I can't save you, no matter how hard I try. We're out of time. Too many burned pages of the stories we'd hide inside. And I can't change you, no matter how far we drive. We can't leave behind the troubles we're trapped inside. You were my whole way of life, the new world, Bonnie and Clyde. Ain't no one could stop us if they tried. I protect my cabin with railroad spikes, so I can try to find some sleep. But something out there keeps on trying, and it's gonna get me one of these nights. So send me off my broken boat, captain of a hopeless dream. Match my rhythm and hold me one last time. Leave that launch and pray the sea's good to me. 'Cause I've been talking to the stars at night, and I think they agree with me. It ain't my fault you ain't did me right. I dodged that bullet, but it left a hole or two. I can't save you, no matter how hard I try. We're out of time. too many front pages of the stories we'd hide inside. And I don't blame you for taking off sometimes, but I can't leave with what's in those lion eyes. You were my whole way of life, the new world, Bonnie and Clyde. And ain't no one can stop us if they try. But we knew this car's gonna die, and it'll putter out at the lights. That the end of the road is barely getting by. And now we're just the tracks we left behind. Thunderclouds, passing rain, keep me trapped inside a cave, dreaming about when I'm on stage. Something clicks, and I finally find my place. But I know one day soon the spotlights shining down on us all are gonna fall. Will they love me for all my flaws, or judge me for all my faults? And maybe I would be someone if I didn't waste my whole life lying down, freaking out about the things I can't figure out. I climbed up that mountain and I found out we got it all wrong. The view is cool, but they only play sad songs. Then I sat down with the superstars and they told me they'd rather lose it all and be anyone who can do anything. So maybe it's a trap, and being famous ain't all that. 'Cause every step you climb is a sacrifice, and the farther you rise, the further of you got left to die. Until you sat atop your pile of trophies alone, begging God why. Then he'll show you the mountains, he'll show you the trees, he'll show you the fire and how it burns when it's freezing. He'll show you the kids and what they saw on their screens while their parents argued about Ponzi schemes. They'll show you you, and they'll show you me, and everything I did to help you see before I gave up on you. And it broke my heart too, but it set me free. So if you need to, I won't compete. I'll exit stage left and let you play the lead. You can be the king of make-believe. When you find it ain't all what it's cracked up to be, you won't find me. 'Cause I'll be in Hawaii. Look what the universe got me today. It's like everything I wanted, but better. And it sounds so nice, dude. Let's try it on the 4th fret. That's really what... Yeah. Well, I hear voices in my head that gets worse when I get out of bed. And I don't trust that I'll find a love who understands. So leave me be and let me smoke my cigarettes. 'Cause deep inside I'd rather be dead. 'Cause I make choices that lead to dead end, led by a broken mind afraid of itself. And I just can't find no one who can look at me with respect. 'Cause the cops gave me trauma and the crows ate the red. I don't know how to be human again, so don't talk to me. 'Cause I'm tired of pretending all good things should end. It's been hard to catch my breath, running from the knowing I won't see you again. There's sometimes something way out there says to be grateful for the simple little moments we spend. Maybe it's better that you're a voice in my head. 'Cause all these voices in my head, it's so beautiful you couldn't comprehend. And they tell me one day you'll see me somewhere way out there with the best, and you'll all come back and wanna be my friend, but for now I'm a monster that haunts at 3 a.m. For now I'm a monster that haunts at 3 a.m. die from battlefield, I'll die from survivor's guilt. Unmarked graves are on the house I built that I won't see until the world stands still. If I don't die on that battlefield, I'll die from survivor's guilt. And I know you're all dead and gone. Your stories got old and the world moved on. I'll keep you alive inside my song about times before it all went wrong. I lost the ones I loved the most to broken dreams on a lonely road. I saw my hometown overdose and I just kept on going. I promised I would save them all. I promise I'm still holding on. One day I will right my wrongs. When it's all said and done, we can have a long talk with God. Unmarked graves around the house I'll build that I won't see until the world stands still. If I don't die on the battlefield, I'll die from survivor's guilt. I got a tattoo of a raccoon, ain't that cool? It reminds me of times before you broke my heart and went back to school. Shoved me out, I guess I'm not cool. Now those demons torture you. I think God got a sense of humor. You locked me out and you left me cold. Thought you were hot shit, now you're getting old. Soon you'll be 6 feet below. I think God got a sense of humor. And I know you're all dead and gone. Your stories got old and the world moved on. I'll keep you alive inside my songs about times before it all went wrong. I lost the ones I loved the most, broken dreams on a lonely road. I saw my hometown overdose and I just kept on going. I promised I would save you all. I promise I'm still holding on. One day I will write these songs. When it's all said and done, we can have a long talk with God. Unmarked graves around the house I built I won't see until the world stands still. If I don't die on the battlefield, I'll die from survivor's guilt. This is to end in fire. We shall all burn together, watch the flames climb high into the night, calling out, Father, steadfast, and we will watch the flames burn on. The mountainside desolation comes upon the sky. I see fire inside the mountains. I see fire burning the trees. I see fire, blood in the breeze, and I hope that you'll remember me
mountainside, desolation comes upon the sky. I see fire inside the mountains. I see fire burning the trees. I see fire hallowing souls. I see fire, blood in the breeze. I hope that you'll remember me. She's in the class 18, stuck in her daydream. Been this way since 18, but lately her face seems slowly sinking, wasting, crumbling like pastries. They scream. The worst things in life come free to us, 'cause we're all under the upper hand. Go mad for a couple grand. We don't wanna go outside tonight, 'cause in a pipe we fly to the motherland, while she sells love to another man. It's too cold outside for angels to fly. Rip gloves, raincoat, try to swim and stay afloat. Dry house, wet clothes, loose change, banknote, weary-eyed, dry throat. Call girl, no phone, and they say she's in the class 18, stuck in her daydream. Been this way since 18, but lately her face seems slowly sinking, wasting, crumbling like pastries. They scream. The worst things in life come free to us, 'cause we're all under the upper hand. Go mad for a couple grams. We don't wanna go outside tonight, 'cause in a pipe we fly to the motherland, or she sells love to another man. It's too cold outside for angels to fly. They say she's in the class 18, stuck in her daydream. It's a nice guitar. Not a bad day to find the bird alive and get a cool free guitar. Don't get a big ego if you get famous. Appreciate it, man. I don't know. Being famous would be cool. As long as I think it'd be cool, it would be dangerous because I would be inserting myself into a satanic Freemason industry that sacrifices kids and birds, and they do rituals, and that's all they pretty much do, that I know of at least. Even Maya Higa from fucking Alvea Sanctuary was invited to the UN and went on the private cruise. And what happened on that private cruise? I was asleep, dreaming that I was on a private cruise, while Maya from Alvea Sanctuary was on a private cruise with the fucking UN, the United Nations. And I had a dream that I was there with them. And then octopus aliens crawled in through the bottom and started killing the crew members. And then there were tall Nordic aliens and they were trying to get in and invade. But my consciousness was playing chess against them through characters I created in this realm. So I was Gotham Chess, and I was controlling Gotham Chess, and he was something I created to fight back against the tall Nordics in the dream realm. And I was like, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, and everything that I went through was cool, but then you're like, yeah, but the most famous people in the industry were there that night, and I was also there, and I just have dreams all the time where I'm like in a fancy mansion or I'm at a rich restaurant in spirit. And then these random strangers I don't know just show up, and I have to judge them. Like, like I was at this fancy restaurant with like the top of society, and I was like the king of them, I guess. And then there was some girl walking around outside, and I opened the window and said, "Hey, has anybody given you any water? What are you doing out there?" And she's like, "No." So I was like, "Here, take a water." And she's like, "Thank you so much." And I saw that the guy next to her was her dad. And then the next day I'm scrolling, and the person I saw in the dream was Cinna and her dad. And then 2 weeks later, she blew up across the internet. No, maybe even 2 days later. As soon as I gave her the water in the dream, and then she became famous. It kind of makes me think that like my job is just to live in abundance as a homeless man, because I'm doing so much more outside of this realm. And that's why, like, whatever I do, it's like, this is like a $800 guitar probably, based off how it sounds. And it's old, they don't make them anymore, which makes it even more valuable. Settle down with me, cover me up, cuddle me in, lie down with me, yeah. Hold me in your arms, and my heart's against your chest, your lips pressed to my neck, and I'm falling for your eyes. They don't know me yet, and this feeling I'll forget. I'm in love now. Kiss me if you wanna be loved. If you wanna be loved. If you wanna be loved. This feels like falling in love. Falling in love. Falling in love. Settle down with me, and I'll be your safety. You'll be my lady. I was made to keep your body warm, but I'm cold as the wind blows, so hold me in your arms. Oh Lord, my heart's against your chest, Your lips pressed to my neck, and I'm falling for your eyes. They don't know me yet, and this feeling will forget. We're in love now. Kiss me like you wanna be loved. If you wanna be loved, wanna be loved. This feels like falling in love, falling in love, falling in love. Kiss me like you wanna be loved. If you wanna be loved, you wanna be loved. This feels like falling in love, falling in love, falling in love. Ah, it's so cool, man. I'm fucking happy this happened. Only part of the industry are satanic Freemasons. I grew up in the industry. I've also heard several people start off not doing as good as you and became semi-famous. Well, you gotta, at one point I had 50 to 100 people, 50 like 100 to 500 people every night for like 2 weeks straight, and then at the end of like the 6 hours of streaming, I would tell them fast, get sunlight, take probiotics to stimulate your gut microbacteria, which is your gut brain, so that you can make brain chemicals, come back to earth, free yourself of responsibilities, go lay out in the woods for a couple weeks, release your inhibitions, lose your mind, come to your senses, and connect to the Most High, and become a part of the living forest again. And people would show up and tell me, "Hey, I'm looking for the guy trying to do the hunger strike." And he's like, obviously some type of cop or CIA or something. And I was like, I don't know. I might have seen him on Marketplace. And he was like, no, I think his name might be. And then just for example, he would have said the people at the time. But imagine if he said Spencer and Albert, or maybe it was Cheryl or something, or Haley. Maybe I can't remember. Showing me, I know, I watch you. I know all your regulars. So I was like, that's concerning. And then I was brutalized by the police days later. Like, I'm kind of worried that, like, they'll say, if you don't sell your soul and join us, we're gonna torture you every night and replace you with a lookalike wearing a prosthetic Casey mask. And I'm like, or we took your hair while you were asleep and we made a clone of you 3 years ago, and now he's grown to a point where he could replace you if you don't do this for us, because we want your soul. But I'm also like, I'm brave and suicidal, so I might as well keep live streaming. You can't hide your lying eyes, and your smile's a thin disguise. I thought by now you'd realize there ain't no way to hide your lying eyes. City girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. A rich old man, and she won't have to worry. She'll dress up all in lace and go in style. But late at night, a big old house gets lonely. I guess every form of refuge has its price. And it breaks her heart to think her love is only given to a man with hands cold as ice. So she tells him she must go out for the evening to comfort an old friend who's feeling down. But he knows where she's going if she's leaving. She's headed for the cheating side of town. You can't hide your lying eyes, and your smile's a thin disguise. I thought by now you realize there ain't no way to hide your lying eyes. On the other side of town, a boy is waiting with fiery eyes and dreams no one could steal. She rushes to his arms and they fall together. She tells him that it's only for a while. Pretty soon she'll be coming back forever. She turns away and leaves him with a smile. You can't hide your lying eyes, and your smile's a thin disguise. Thought by now you'd realize there ain't no way to hide your lying eyes. There ain't no way to hide your lying eyes. Little one, lie with me, so your heart tonight sleep will stay quiet underneath shooting stars if it helps you sleep. Close your eyes, lean on me, face to now, lips to cheek, numb in my feet. You're the one to help me get to sleep. Hold me tight, don't let me breathe. Feeling like you won't believe. There's a firefly loose tonight, better catch it for it burns this place down. And I lie if I don't feel so right, but the world looks better through your eyes. There's a firefly loose tonight, better catch it for it burns this place down. And I lie if I don't feel so right, but the world looks better through your eyes. Teach my skin those new tricks, warm me out with your lips. Heart to heart, melt me down. It's too cold in this town. Close your eyes, lean on me, face to mouth, lips to cheek, feeling numb in my feet. You're the one to help me get to sleep. Hold me tight, don't let me breathe. Feeling like you won't believe. There's a firefly loose tonight, better catch it for it burns this place down. And I lie if I don't feel so right, but the world looks better through your eyes. There's a firefly loose tonight, better catch it for it burns this place down. And I lie if I don't feel so right, but the world looks better through your eyes. Through your eyes, through your eyes. It's only been one night of love, and baby, that is not enough. Hold me tight, don't let me breathe. Feeling like you won't believe. Only been one night of love, and baby, that is not enough. Hold me tight, don't let me breathe. Feeling like you won't believe. There's a firefly loose tonight, better catch it for it burns this place down. And I lie if I don't feel so right, but the world looks better through your eyes. But the world looks better through your eyes. I've been running down the road, trying to loosen my load. Got a world of trouble on my mind. I'm looking for a lover who won't blow my cover. She's so hard to find. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. Take it easy. Well, I'm standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, baby. Don't say maybe. I got a gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. So open up by climbing in. Take it easy. I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stone me. 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Well, I'm standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. But no, while you still can, don't even try to understand. Some place to make your stand and take it easy. People fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just a touch of a hand. Well, me, I'll fall in love with you every single day. I just wanna tell you I am. Baby, now, take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your hand on my bleeding heart. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just thinking out loud. My pigeon's like, what the fuck is going on? He's never heard this shit in his life. People fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just a touch of a hand. Well, me, I'll fall in love with you every single day. There's like no water anymore. It sucks. We're in the fire horse, man. There's no watery energy. Well, me, I'll fall in love with you every single day. I just want to tell you I am. Baby, now, take me into your loving arms. No. Wait till next year, man. That emotional stuff is going to be great. Everybody go look up Casey Lowry and tell me that we're not living in a simulation. Look at Casey Rocket. Tell me we're not living in a simulation. Look at Kai Cenat and tell me we don't look like the same Minecraft thing with different skins on. You know what I'm saying? Holy shit, we're like the same being. It's crazy. It's like we're literally the same soul, just in different bodies. Like, isn't that nuts? But we're like individually, our individual journeys molded us, but really we're just kind of the same thing that went through different things and we're put in different positions to affect the collective consciousness because the tree of paradise is coming down from the higher dimension into this one. Like the Bible says, we will go until we all, and go to Sheol, then paradise, and then we mix together, and then hell comes up, and heaven comes down, and then God just comes out from behind a tree, says, it was me the whole time, and I'm like, why are you keeping me prisoner, man? But as much as I hated what I went through, look what I just got, man. This is fucking sweet, and it's expensive, and it was just free lying on the road. Days the Wash Bar. You were my wildflower, roaming free. I had to leave and let you grow without me. You'll be with the rivers and the trees, butterflies with golden wings. And I'll be chasing freedom down boulevards of broken dreams. One day I'll be bigger than you think. And I'll come back and run my hands along you. summer evening roaming through. I'm a nomad looking for a war to win. And you're my greener pastures, my happily ever after. I'll hold seconds before disaster. You were my night sky. When I look up asking God, why you ain't here when the sun comes up, I still have to get on up and hunt for another love. And we'll lay around until we pass out with you and the truth between us. You were my wildflower, growing free. I had to leave and let you grow without me. You'll be with the rivers and the trees, butterflies with golden wings. And I'll be chasing freedom down boulevards of broken dreams. One day I'll be bigger than you think. I'll come back and run my hands along you. Every summer evening roaming through, you were my wildflower. I had to leave and let you grow. Now we can't get a handle on you, you're out of control. And the world will have to deal, these green mountains fate is sealed. 'Cause now your colors everywhere, you cover every field. I'll pass out in fields of you, lay my head down on your roots, wrap my hand around your grooves. Every summer evening roaming through. See if you can play Chris Stapleton, Melandra Lambert song. A song I'll sing. It's a good song. I don't have another phone. Translates to, you are a lion, you are a lion, you are a lion, you are a lion. Sivenya Dobadisi Baba means, look, there is a lion. That is a lion. Cinna looks like a fish. Extra Emily looks like Cinna's skeleton. Phase Adept and Tarayami look like chipmunks. They look like the chipmunk lovers from that cartoon. Queso looks like a beaver. What do I look like? I look like a rhino or a polar bear. I hate everything about you. Why do I love you? gonna call the cops on me. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. More like, I can't think anymore. I can't think anymore. Connect me back to God, please. Please, God, come back in. Everything feels weird because of the Saturnian energy on a Saturday. I can't move. I can't think. Shit's getting weird, man. My life feels like it's a weird purgatory right now. Everything just feels weird. Everything feels weird. I don't even know myself anymore. I don't know who I am or what I want to do in life. I have no real vision. I was holding on to so much and now it's just gone. I don't care. Like, I'm not really, all my effort was put into creating art that would shine a light to make the people that left me behind cry. And now I no longer care and they never cared in the first place. But I know I have to keep going or else I can feel like all their different judgments and realities and their opinions, I feel like connected to the world so much that if I don't just continue creating my life, I will be victim to having their realities and everything pump in. I know that everything is individual. So if I just give up on my individuality, it's not like anything comes from it. I just become everybody else. But I'm tired of that resistance. I'm tired of that fight. So I'm just sort of like Buddhist monks raking the sand and watching the wind blow it back every morning. I'm just like slowly stacking things up, doing like bare minimum of stuff. And I'm just getting heavily blessed. Like I just got $1,000 worth of protein one day. Somebody gave me $1,000 worth of protein. The next day I get this guitar. Like tonight I get this guitar and it's better than I expected. I didn't even expect it. It just showed up one day. I feel like so much more is coming but I can also feel like so many narcissistic, gaslighting, spiritual molesters like trying to latch on to my energy. I've always felt like a couple people, and I know when they're coming back because they message me. Like I know when I've broken free from the spell work, which hasn't happened in years. And every time I do, like I would fight to get it this spring and then this winter, and I would get it. They would message me every single time trying to reinstate that connection. Even if they seem nice and they're doing nice stuff, there's some type of demonic, energetic, gaslighting stuff that happens. And I can feel it trying to get in, and then all of a sudden my phone, ding, and I can see they sent me a message and they're just trying to get in. And I know that in the past when I would reject it just outright, they would go crazy. They would punish me for it. And that spiritual intuition, that empathy and stuff, that would seem schizophrenic to people, but I can test it over and over again, and I see real world consequences for my spiritual decisions. Like when those people come back in to be the helper, try to help me in life, whatever, their reality, when I would reject that reality because it's skewed and it involves power games and all that, even if I didn't say anything, they would freak the fuck out because I knew it was a demonic attachment trying to form. So I think real spiritual schizos call it a contract. They're trying to get you into a contract, and like I can feel it even when I don't even if I don't acknowledge it, they're really trying, and it really just disrupts and destroys everything. And it is all about my gifts or my creative, and it's not really a gift. It was just formed over decades of persevering creatively to have an individual perspective and reality that people find really valuable, and they want to destroy it, they want to take it for themselves, and that makes me an actual perpetual victim, and I don't want that in my life. But then I'm given 100 acres. All I need right now is a weed whacker, I think. Like as soon as I can get a weed whacker with a brush cutter attachment to put a saw blade on the weed whacker, then I can go to town on all this overgrowth here. And when that's done and the sun is shining in on those places that hadn't been touched in a long time because it had an invasive species growing on it, it's like I'm literally clearing out the garbage. And there's so much potential of what can be done here. I just need to get a forester here and then do the current use and get that, which means I need a job, and I have a guy that's willing to. He has to convince his boss to hire me, basically. His boss doesn't want to hire anybody, but he needs help because the guy himself is old. I was warned not to let any old people in. You will find a beautiful, sweet young lady soon. We are supposed to try to let go of all the pain we went through. I feel bad about it, man. Like,
if like I want all this stuff that I want to do for my this property here, I'm thinking like, why don't I just go to the Amish and tell them I have visions by God when I'm away from technology, and they'll be like, that's the point, you know? And I'll be like, well, I can't find anybody in society that is anywhere close to where you guys are probably at every day. I'm not going to leave technology behind, but I'll tell you that I'm also trying to learn from the best to understand how to gain a better spiritual connection and really improve this place and be a shining light in the world. And I need help because I can't do it alone. And I bet they would show up like ants or bees, just bam, look at it all done. But I'm thinking like, like what if an Amish girl has a crush on me? And I have to be like, I'm not ready for marriage. I don't want to put you through any shit. Um, I know it's really vain for me to, at 26, feel like there's still a chance for me to go out to Hawaii and just be like this adventuring, traveling king. I tried it for 6 years and it didn't work. I don't know why I feel like it's going to be different this time, but even though for 6 years I haven't been able to date anybody or function well enough to do anything, and maybe that was the point because before that I was kind of running through my state, all the beautiful women, and I would just go to small towns and be the cowboy and just hook up with tons of amazing, unique girls that happened to be a God created simulation, so it wasn't really like I was doing any of that anyway. It was preordained, but either way, I liked that. But I've changed for sure, but I also feel like I missed out for the past 6 years wandering around with a brain injury getting abused. And if I say that, that just kills the relationship itself. They're like, oh, he's crazy. Or even if they're like, oh, whatever, then it feels like there's a death in the shared energy, and I don't like that. I like to promote the highest vibration, and then toxic narcissists hate that shit. And they try to come in and infiltrate, and then for 2 weeks I go, I can't think, I can't think, I can't think. And then I'm like, oh shit. I was other people's energies because I'm a super empath amplifier, and they were projecting their shit. And it was like, I was like a bunch of different things all at once because I couldn't get that shit away. I've also learned a big thing is that I was assigning Unalak a personality. And me assigning a personality to that was the same shit that I said that my parents have, where they assign shit to me and they can't see me. I had to go through my own realization where I had to let go of my idea of Unalak, a bird, so that I could actually see what the bird was, who he actually was. Because he's a conscious entity, and I was giving him like a cartoon character. So when I got there, then he stopped being afraid of me. As soon as I unassigned my beliefs about what the pigeon should be and I just let him be, he doesn't run from me anymore. But when I was like going through life with my own delusional reality, and delusional isn't like I think I'm the Pope or whatever. It's not like a made up mental illness. Delusional reality is what we all live in. You've all created a delusional reality. It's called suburban comfort. You know? If you were out in a village in Africa, you probably wouldn't have that. You would have a shared collective love that's probably been infiltrated by, like the worst thing that not the worst thing about the Epstein files, but something in the Epstein files that's really held on to me for a while is that a lot of people in the files flat out said, yeah, Christianity was invented in Africa about the Middle East because it was the Middle East's way of brainwashing African people. The reason that Christianity was talking about the Middle East, but it formed in Africa, was because they were trying to brainwash African people. And then they just kept going with that. Like the original text about Jesus, when he cast the demons out of the body, and then they put them in the pigs, originally it was a giant fucking tapeworm that Jesus helped the guy take out through fasting and sunlight. Then it became he cast the demons out and put them in the pigs. No, the pigs can't be eaten because they're riddled with parasites. I don't think Jesus put the parasites in the pigs. I think Jesus probably showed people, don't eat the pigs because there's parasites, and look at me cast it out of this guy. Like is it Good Burger? That Nickelodeon show, or Keenan and Kel? It's like claymation, where they put a hot dog to the guy's mouth and then the tapeworm comes out and they rip the tapeworm out. That used to be a biblical story until we know King James was a Satanist. We know the Knights Templar turned into Freemasonry because they wanted to get under Solomon's temple to find how exactly he was using jinn or genies to build the temple. And you can just go to India and talk to people who have devoted their life into communications with jinn and genies. Like the Bible used to talk about genies and jinn, and the way the Middle East is, imagine if, I don't know where you guys are at. I'm in New England. So imagine like New Hampshire, a religion formed. And then another religion formed in New York City. And then another religion formed in Ohio. That's how far away these different worldly religions spawned. And they all have the same symbolism: BlackRock, Saturn, Satan, Demiurge, Gnosticism, the Black Sun. It's just hidden in their books, and the books just got more and more sort of like what worked versus what didn't. If you go back to the original text, you see they were all talking about the same thing because they lived next door to each other. But then somewhere along the way, it got skewed into thinking that this book is right and that book is wrong, and you should kill the people with the wrong book. If you go back, there's a common denominator in all the books. There's a common ancestor between all those books. That's pretty easy to understand and straightforward. It's not riddled in delusional beliefs, illusionary beliefs. It's just fasting, sunlight, probiotics. There's a creator. You are created, and you can get to know the creator, which is yourself. And then you can find unity and balance, and then we're going to be separated by the dark waters, but eventually we'll get into schools of fish to dream and debate our beliefs because we'll be separated, and then we'll grow back into the light, the truth. And I don't know why that's pretty easy for me to understand. Well, the cops and the cunts and the creeps and the crows all want the same thing, to rip and tear at your soul. So before the morning comes, something else can come and try and grab a hold and take control, and now they own you. Oh, when I was just a boy, they all told me I was blessed, and something about me means I'm meant for success. Now they all talk shit behind my back, put a target, told the town I'm hooked on crack, and I'm messed up in the head and I need meds because I don't want to work a stupid fucking job and pretend I have a boss. Well, I grew up poor in a ski resort town where we all made money by eliminating frowns, and think it's kind of funny how these whites are so proud, but when the rich men come around, they all keep their head down and submit just like a dog. Well, when I can't get to sleep, I think of old folks' homes where those spiteful little bullies cry until they die alone, because the world they built by beating others only did them wrong, because no one taught them how to love. And I hope that they see me on my Indian sky when I take their little girls on a ride around town. And they'll have to bitch to God because the nurse don't care to hear them cry about it, because she's on TikTok showing off her butt.
And when they're on their deathbed, I hope that they see my face when whatever tortures me shows them all the love I gave, trying to help them sing and clap along to my broken-hearted songs. Hey, hey, hey. And before they meet their grave and the good Lord takes them away, I hope the final breath they take is followed by a list of names, and somewhere along the way I get an I'm sorry or an island from their estate. And the cops and the cunts and the creeps and the crows will have another friend to follow everywhere I go. And I'm so grateful for him, because without him I wouldn't have ever known the value that I hold. The Anunnaki moved from Antarctica to Greenland? What? Where's your proof? Where is your proof that the Anunnaki have moved from Antarctica to Greenland? To be fair, if that were to happen, we would never know. And I'm tired. It does seem like Saturnian energy will not let me have hope. It do be feeling like there's just these tons of hairs around trying to weave into me to give me learned helplessness and not having freedom. That do seem to be happening. For real, on God, no cap. It do seem like Saturnian energy does try to bind you in learned helplessness constantly to keep you from feeling free and creative and connecting to the living forest and remembering you've always been a part of it the whole time. And that the illusion of separation was made by people taking advantage of it so that you were out of touch with reality, while the people in their initiations can take advantage of you. Local Freemasons would go around harvesting sexual energy and building sexual contracts with children so that when they get home they can have a psionic connection and illusion, give an illusion that they are their projection of their consciousness into your mind is your crush in school, so that you would have a sexual thing with them through spirit. That's why they wanted you disconnected from the living forest, so they could manipulate you for energy through the network that you were led to believe you were never a part of, and it would be crazy to assume that you were. So they could take advantage of you consciously by projecting their mind into yours and raping you psionically. That's what local Freemasons in your town are doing to you. Mainly your daughters. So schizos and targeted individuals and people that wake up, they are conscious and looking around and being like, what the fuck is this? And they have no way to discern what's happening because the knowledge was hidden. So they become crazy and they know that there's more going on. And the people in the network that are conscious and understanding, they can see that your energy. So yeah, they're going to be targeted. Yeah, targeted individuals are real. They're creative geniuses that think that there's more going on that they don't understand, and they fight for knowledge, and that triggers the people manipulating the system. I don't think it's like necessarily right off the bat that you wake up and then suddenly the third degree Mason down the road gets the DM that says this guy needs to be followed. I think it's more like everyone's just chilling in their homes with their families, but the people that have gotten those initiations can feel the spark and the pull of your creative energy, so they're drawn to you like flies. And yeah, there is a good and bad path, so the bad ones will try to take it for bad reasons, and the good ones hopefully are doing good things, but I don't see it because they probably aren't allowed to tell me, because Freemasons, if they tell you their secrets, they think that they lose their whatever in the spirit realm because of their contracts. They bind it with oaths that if you break it, you lose it. And maybe in the age of Pisces that was real, and definitely in the age of Aquarius that'll be real. But I think it really just depends on if you want to delve into that realm, which is what this world is all about, or not. Like, yeah, if you don't want to do that, yeah, those people are crazy. But collectively, if enough people are in that, then that is real. That's collective realities. The more people believe it. What do you think the point, like I hated the Duffer Bros for what the Like, how many of you watched Stranger Things season 5 and watched Vecna with those little kids? And it's a top-down view, like POV porn, where Vecna's tubule is fucking stuffing and pumping into those children. Specifically, a little girl named Holly. Holly meaning Ireland, Holly tree, Hollywood. And I saw nobody on the internet being like, that's not okay. That's softcore child, you know? That's nobody. I saw nobody on the internet being like, that is not okay. And what do her parents think? I seem to be the only one that saw Stranger Things season 5 and was like, that's not okay. And now for the rest of that child's life, people will have the image where you can look down at her as it and see that shit. Like, how much? What did her parents think of that? And why doesn't anybody care but me? But then I'm like, the Duffer Bros just challenged the collective reality of the entire world. And it also set the stage, knowing that it would be a timeless classic and a generational show, for people in the future to really go back and understand how we felt during the Epstein files. It really was showing off the time period of what we were experiencing, to just have that flat out right there, so that people in the future will look at that and they'll be uncomfortable and they're like, that's what we were going through. You know, like, that's the only saving grace for the Duffer Bros. If that wasn't their intention and they were doing Satanist pedophile shit, lynch them, burn them at the stake. Like, I don't know why people aren't just like, when will we get to the point where we'll be able to articulate and witness a police brutality and just kill the cops on the spot? Like, seeing cops in cities bullying the fuck out of people. Like, even girls, like attractive young women with like 40-year-old cops, and they're both cops, like attractive young women cops, and then like 40-year-old Freemason cops are descending on like innocent civilians and just like spiritually raping them, and I can see what they're doing. I know exactly what they're doing. They're doing the dominance games to literally infiltrate their mind. That's why they touch your car. That's why they start touching the people. It's a spiritual initiation into Satanist occult stuff through Freemasonic institutions like law enforcement. And I see them doing that. And like, when will we get to the point where people will recognize what they're doing and just step in the way and be like, that's unconstitutional, get the fuck away from them. They don't have to talk to you. They haven't done anything. What's the thing of the traffic stop? You work for the public. You are not a Freemasonic spiritual abuse molester of the public. You are going to get the fuck away or we're going to kill you. We're going to fucking kill you. Get the fuck away from us. It's when white people die. It's when white people are a minority in 2045. When the great replacement happens and white people are gone, that's when we'll start doing shit. The program institutionalized select bred cave monkey lemmings when they eventually realize with all that delusional power games and sense of self, yeah, they're great hardworking people, but when they let go of that crazy negative shit, they'll realize that wasn't even real. I was like subjecting myself to the beast so I could feel a bit powerful, and called it capitalism and the American dream. When really it was just subjecting myself to wage slavery for nothing, not knowing that the infinite was possible, and then channeling that through being subservient to a religion that was created to prey upon me, when God was clearly stating the whole time that he does not follow the King James Bible, and there's earlier texts that we have access to in the age of Aquarius that can give us the actual codes. And then you would be pissed at your church for being fat, judgmental pieces of shit. Then you would say, why do I have a preacher that's obese, riddled with demonic parasites? Why is my preacher fat? We know that gluttony is wrong, and that ingestion of parasites takes over and they swim through the blood-brain barrier and they pick at neurons to force you to spread the parasites. Just like how cats have toxoplasmosis to make mice not afraid of them, so that mice will run up to the cats and let the cats eat them and spread the toxoplasmosis into all of the animals around, so that the cats just have an easier job picking whatever they want. Parasites control minds, and we are not impervious to that. Having a cat increases estrogen in men and makes them more docile and lazy and loving the cat. The cat's a parasite, bro. I had a cat and it did that shit to me. My cat would run in the room when I was fasting and I would break free from the parasites and I would be high vibrational. My cat would get uncomfortable and it would sprint in the room and try to rub its mouth against my mouth, trying to get its parasites into me again because I was cleaning it out. I don't know what Sarasota said. Space defense, I promise you that is what is happening. I can't dispute I had a dream where I was in a cruise ship and when I went to the lower levels, octopus demons were crawling in and then these tall aliens that looked like white people were but not white people like the white people in your town. I mean like they had white skin, but they were tall with long faces and they were very tall. Like I'd say like 7 to 15 feet, and they were slowly walking through the office cubicles of like a corporate office, but it was all made out of like lush gold, and it looked like a 1950s cruise ship, but made out of solid gold. And they were moving very slowly and methodically, and I could see that there was a pushback from some like creators on the internet that were systematically pushing away the invasion of those aliens. And then something said, those are the tall Nordics, they've been trying to get in for a long time. And then I went up this elevator to the top, and there was a bunch of there were groups of people like me, like younger kids and creators and people, and we were all at the top of the cruise ship. And then it was time for us to leave, and we were in this abandoned city with no lights on, and we were running through, and there was this demonic zombie thing chasing us, and it was me and a homeless guy I've been trying to save for a while, like trying to help him out in his life. And we ran to this like small white house that had one light going, and then we went in, and there was like a bunch of survivors, and we all huddled in the corner. And there was this 15-year-old girl that was lost, I guess. Like like her parents had gotten into her. She had a lot of bad energy. And we were all huddled together, and she was like, "So you don't love me, Casey?" And I was like, "What is she suggesting?" And I went, "I'm 26." And then scene changed. Oh, but before that, while there was the running from the demons and me and the homeless guy, there was this kid, Gen Z, had his headphones in. It was obviously a demonic apocalypse, but he knew what was going on, but he also didn't care. Probably because he grew up in it. And so he had like rollerblades on, and he had like the apocalypse gear, and I could see through his energy because I'm an empath. In my eighth house, whatever, my spiritual stuff, I could go into his consciousness and see his connections, and that he had a team of Gen Z kids that were thriving in the apocalypse, and they were doing it really well. And he looked half Asian. I don't know if it was Jason Leween exactly, but it looked kind of like him. Like dyed blonde hair, and he was doing that. And then I talked to him and his group before I went up into the survival house. And then after that, I woke up and I was in like a Last of Us level of a video game where there were raiders breaking into this abandoned school. And I was like, I remembered that I was not functioning as well as I could. Like I used to be like super militant and creative, where if somebody was breaking in, I would just bam, turn into a dragon, grab him by the throat, rip him apart, giant with a polar bear hand, just shredding through him. Like my dreams used to be like that, where people were trying to kill me, and I would just be so creative that I could get through anything, and it was like a fun game for me. But now, because of the years of homelessness and learned helplessness, when they broke in, I couldn't create. I was like, oh shit. And I just tried to inch my way around, and then they just swarmed me, grabbed me. They were trying to beat me to death. And then I, like a cartoon character, I just out of their clutch and then ran away. And then there was other things that happened, other very important stuff I'm having trouble remembering right now. I definitely wrote it down and I posted it. There was other shit. I know there was the aliens and there was the octopus aliens and there was the tall Nordics and then the survival mode and then we got out there and the people were trying to get me. Okay, and then we were outside a city. It was still in the abandoned city, but it was nighttime and there was a lot of just people gathered around this block and one of the like cars were flipped over on their side and there was light coming from one building that had like a generator going, so it was only light coming from one building, and it was just a small bit like a like a corner store, like the deli was open, and that's where people were kind of operating the resistance out of. And I would every time I'm around people in my dreams, if I'm not helpless, I am towering above people. Like I am a giant in the most of my dreams. I'm some type of wealthy king, like a ruler of everybody. Everyone, like in my dreams, I'm like the industry is around me, but I am well above the industry, and I'm placed away in my own section and people are like coming to me and asking me for favor, and like I when I give them, if I judge them correctly, they become famous. Like I met Cinna in a dream before she blew up, and then after I met her in the dream and gave her water, she became famous, and she was outside of the industry. She couldn't get into this rich building that I was sort of ruling over. Maybe it's because Hollywood and Irish and O'Brien is the last high king of Ireland. I don't know. Reincarnated 33 life path, born the 11th. But I also have dreams where my friends come back and angels are at my sides, like higher dimensional beings, and I have to show them how they failed in my life here on Earth. They failed me, and then they get judged and punished and have to go. And I'm reminded I'm a test, and then I'm literally like, when I'm trying to say I'm the test, and I'm trying to tell you that I'm the test, and like how you treat me is very important. Me, my like what you could see my eyes to the test over there. But anyway, in that sort of apocalypse get together, there were two girls standing in front, and there was a bunch of people around me asking me questions, and like they needed help with stuff, and I was like helping them and telling them what to do and how to get through these situations. And there were two girls they were there, and then all of a sudden they were dead on the ground, and they were dressed up like Loki from the MCU with like the long horns like this and the robes, and they were dead on the ground there. And there was a woman crying over them, and I remember looking at them and being like, "They're dead," and I felt sad. And then the person in the dream walked up to me as if my eyes were a camera, and on the other end there were people that were watching, as if telling you guys this, which was they're saying this is for you guys to let you know that mind control is obviously real. You thought those people were dead, and you cried, and that made a change in your mind. You got into a contract and were brainwashed because they convinced you that those people were dead. They're not dead. Look, they're back up. And then there was other stuff I can't remember, but it was just going to different groups of souls and communicating with them important information. That was pretty much my dream. And I have those types of dreams a lot. Like it used to be that I was on a battlefield going up this big mountain and killing these archetypes of fear, like horror movie villains, and then or creatures. And then I would have to pick up in real life, my friends were picking me up and taking me to Walmart because I couldn't think and I couldn't function. In real life, I couldn't move. I had a brain injury, but my mind worked and my spiritual mind worked. But I was having trouble functioning in the physical, and people were kind of carting me around places. I don't know what that shit was. Did you see that? What the fuck was that? Did you see that? But in my dreams, I'm picking them up and taking them to different battlefields to train them and make sure that they know what to do. But in real life, they were coming to help me and taking me places. Spiritually, I was taking them places. I was orchestrating them feeling like they need to help me and then taking them places and taking me places. But in real life, you know what I'm saying? It looked like they were helping me and I was the broken person. But in spirit, I was actually the one training them. Sounds like you had a vision of the Ragnarok. I don't know. Casey, have you tried to learn from a perspective of different deliverance ministers? No.
I should be reading my Bible, but I'm not. Tomorrow, I'm gonna organize everything. And I'm just waiting on a call back for work so that I can pay this car off and then start building the recording studio and getting solar panels, trying to get deals on rocks to build water fountains and clear out get a brush cutter with a blade attachment so that I can, instead of having the strings, then I can start getting these prickers out of here and then try to get an electric rototiller and really clean out the space and then plant a different species that won't let the prickers grow. And then I need to build a concert stage, and I need to make it with the Casey flare so that everything is modular and can be taken down and moved easy, so that I don't need permits, and that I can just, if I want to rearrange the space, I don't need to like take down a building and build a new one. I can just fold down the stage and fold down the barn and fold down the shed and be able to transport it easier so that I can just move all of it around. I just backed up the footage. If that wasn't a big piece of insulation that floated from the ceiling, I don't know what it was. It wasn't like I went when I threw something back. It was like it literally came down because there is nothing here. There's nothing here. So that was some type of light reflecting off of something. If it wasn't a piece of insulation or something. But there's no insulation. There's nothing on the roof or anything. If it wasn't like I flung something from my arm, then I don't know what the fuck it was. But yeah, we do only get this life. Like, are you guys happy with the way your life is? Be honest. Are you happy with the way your life is? Do you feel like you're living it up? If you don't feel like you're living your best life, it takes bravery, but you need a foundation to be able to house your correct self. So I just say omega-3s, protein, multivitamins, fasting, like don't eat and exercise. Something that's helped me a lot is the treadmill. Having a space by yourself, which is like your safe place with a treadmill, gets you back in control. Because every time you want to stop on the treadmill, you have to will yourself to keep going. So you start to recognize your impulsive thoughts. Most of us are guided by our impulses, and our impulses are not really us. Like if you get on that treadmill and you start walking, you're gonna get spammed with schizophrenic like voices in your head saying, "Stop, do this instead, do this." Like you will be pulled around by the parasites that don't want to be purged, and that's what the Bible says about demons too. Like when I'm on the treadmill, my mind is going haywire, like stop, 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 stop. And then I keep going and I realize that I have the ability to say no to those things and just keep going. And that's what I realized is like fear and control. Ooh, you're schizophrenic. Notice how when I really get to this like helping you break free and be your best self, when we talk about progress and excitement and all this stuff, that's when the bots show up. Like it draws in losers to try to stop you. Swear to God, and that will happen in your life. Like when trying to gain more control, to not care about how you've settled into basically controlling yourself through fear, and you try to break free from that. That triggers other people who are not brave enough to do their own stuff. So they have to tear at you to get into you, and that validates that they don't have to look at themselves. And they're all white. It's only white people that do it. You'll never see an Asian or a Hispanic man trying to tear you down, you know what I'm saying? Trying to do the ego power games. With the using character traits and names, like playground stuff, because they're trying to like sort of extend. Imagine like a disgusting pile of shit full of tentacles, and they're trying to get the tentacles into as many people as they can. So they live their life just to keep growing their pile of shit at the expense of others. So if you purge your body and get all that shit out, they come to you in flocks because the energy's better. If you play it back, it's around 209 timestamp. I don't know. Let's take off. I have my to-do list up here. Let's see what I did. Get carpenter bucket. I did that. Gloves, permethrin. I did that. Cleaning overgrowth. Haven't done that yet because now I know that the way I was going, I wasn't able to. So now I need a weed whacker with a brush cutter attachment so I can do that. Plant rose bushes. I can't get to that yet, and they died. Shovel muddy road. I did that. So I've done everything except this cabinet under here. I did do the cabinet under here. Which means that I've done my to-do list and I've made progress. Okay, I was diagnosed with savant syndrome as a child. I had like a 145 IQ at 14. And then got through high school. I was homeless since I was 9. Got through high school. I went from being sort of the flippy haired, because I'm 26, that flippy haired, sort of Bieber looking, but with skinny fat, autistic, didn't know how to talk to people. I would practice stand up comedy in the mirror, and I would watch John Mulaney's New in Town every single morning. And then I would go into school and I would make my own jokes to try to be funny. And girls did eventually like me when I was like just so mad. Like, why do they treat my friend Sam, who's 6'2", blue eyes, black hair, huge muscles, homeschooled Irish family? Why do they treat him so good and they like show off their butts to him? But then when they look at me, they spit on the ground and go, ew. So that pissed me off. So I started playing music and working out every night, and I just delved into studies of social skills and like Freudian psychology, and just like got basically a bachelor's degree trying to figure out how people worked. And then that gave me the strength to just, once I pushed through it, then I became normal, but very intelligent. And then, but I was living in shelters and couch surfing. I was in DCF, but I was dating the baddest bitches in my, probably, like from what I've seen, the girls I dated better looking than like Sydney Sweeney. I'd say that Jessie was a lot better looking than all of the girls that are like up there. I think Doja Cat, like I think they're better looking than Doja Cat. In terms of like looks maxing, I guess, like I think that Lupita Nyong'o and Hayley Atwell in their prime are better looking. But I mean, Hayley Atwell, like Agent Carter in her prime, pretty close. Like Jessie was pretty close. Chloe way better than Sydney Sweeney. Garrett, beautiful, very unique. Even Callie up in Maine and Lily up in Maine were better, and they were all 18, or like when I was 16 dating 16-year-olds. So like when people get older, like when guys get older, they look back and like, man, I wish I still had that 18-year-old. Maybe I still got it. She's hot as hell. And I had all those girls, and then but I was just cheating on them all with each other, and I was going out and doing more. Eventually, it got to a point like I was just running and running and running, trying to keep improving my life and have these experiences. But as I got older and older, the responsibilities and all this shit weighing on me got more and more meaningful. Like I knew that I had to do, and I also knew I was at a time limit because I had learned that it doesn't get better if you don't. Once school ends and you lose the structure, if you're not like driving force every day, pushing it to the limit, making it happen, making your dreams come true, building a life for yourself, it all falls away, and you learn how to you settle. Your skin starts to droop, and you just lose your mind and become like a bot in the Matrix, basically. So I was kind of running against that. And then eventually I realized that I had gotten a girl pregnant and the baby died. And then I was couch surfing and my friends got into drugs. And the antidepressants I was on wasn't mixing with the drugs they were doing. So they would I'd be like in the room getting the second high of those chemicals. That would keep me up for days. My car broke down. I was working full time delivering pizzas and saving up money to get Ableton in my music studio and shit. I had gotten a degree in music at that point, or audio engineering. I worked in recording studios, and then I just sent it, drove my car 90 into a pole when my kind of rock, that one girl that I held on to that I loved, when she finally was like, you're kind of shit, man. Like, you have all these great qualities, but I'm done, man. So I went to her concert because she was a very talented singer, and she was there with another guy. Turns out that guy's a micro penis and was a piece of shit to her. So I was like, haha, I won in the end, bitch. But yeah, I did cheat on her all the time, which is pretty bad. And then I learned how to really astral project. Like, I could go when I was in the hospital. I could astral project into the other room and see what time it was and what the guy was writing, and then I would come out and tell him, "You just wrote this, and this is what time it is, isn't it?" He'd be like, "Yeah," and he'd be like, "You're manic." I'm like, "No, I don't know what it is, but I'm just showing you." I didn't say anything. I was just like, "No, I'm not." And then I started to hear this buzzing, and I saw Kanye West say, "Slavery is a choice. Puke up your meds." So I puked up my meds. I went to bed. I woke up, and there was just an alien in the doorway. It looked like a Harry Potter Dementor. And it like sucked all the life out of me. And then after that, I couldn't think. I was paralyzed during the day. I couldn't move. I couldn't form words. I wasn't funny or charismatic or witty or blessed or a genius anymore. I was just kind of struggling to exist. And I started dating this girl who I had loved kind of the whole time because she also kept running away, and that triggered the why am I not good enough? So that would like cultivate more. So then when I finally got her, and then I got her with a brain injury, basically, and she would just cart me around like a vegetable. Eventually, she had given up on me and would just kind of take me around like a dog and go into other people's. Like, she would put her hair down, do her like fix her. She didn't need makeup, so she didn't even do it. But she would fix her hair. She would look nicer than she ever looked for me, and she'd go into some other guy's house for an hour, and I'd have to sit there trying to function again, trying to think, trying to get back into my body, and it just wasn't working. Some days it would be like 12 hours a day I can't move, and I'm just laying there like this and freezing in 90-degree weather. I'm freezing cold, and the girl wakes up next to me and is like, "I don't know how to help you." She's crying, and I just get up and go, "Please just have a good day at work." And then I'd have to force myself to the sink in the bathroom and wash my face. Then I forced myself to back to the computer, and I would make music every day for hours. And then I would start doing push-ups and studying astrology and all these different things, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And then I found there really wasn't much wrong with me at that point. It's just I was in the wrong environment. And then a lot of terrible, terrible stuff happened after that. But that's around the time I started the channel, and I started traveling around. A lot of police brutalities. I was homeless as a kid because of police brutality with my dad, and they burned our property down. We were going to be millionaires because we had 40 cabins and a triplex and a four-story barn in a ski resort, and then they burned it down. And then when my dad just kept on trucking, people showed up at our property and they pulled him over for not using his blinker when he did. And then 6 cops were just there randomly, and they ripped me out of the car and made me watch, when I was 9, them try to beat my dad to death, basically, and make him say horrible stuff about himself. And I don't think that way about my dad. I think that the stuff he did after sucked. I think that he became he kind of, I don't like what he did to me afterwards, and I did exactly what he did to me back to him, and he got butthurt about it. Like, it wasn't karma. But yeah, so I traveled around, and it's just lots of trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma. Every day I had to get up, and it got worse and worse and worse. And it seemed like the devil was really working against me. Like, every time I made a good song, cops are at the door. Noise complaint. But I have my headphones in. There's no noise. Find out they're convinced because I have friends that are black, and I drive a Dodge Magnum with tattoos, that I was running drugs. So they were always trying to get me for something, try to figure out what's he doing in there. And then eventually My lease ran out, and I moved. I wanted to go to Austin, Texas, and I'm about to leave. I stayed at my mom's for 3 days. Wake her up. The cat was on me, so I dropped the cat, and I said, "Hey," I didn't want to scare her with the noise, so I said, "Hey, I threw the cat," and that's what the noise was. But I didn't say that's what the noise was. I said I threw the cat. So she's saying, "He threw the cat. He threw the cat." And I'm like, "No, that's not what it is." Uh, I said I'm gonna go charge my car battery charger and leave, and go DoorDash. And then when I get back, she's pacing around in circles on the phone with a kitchen knife, smiling, going, "Hurry, hurry, 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 please." I like try to open the window to be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And she slams the window in my face. And then I go back around and the cops tackle me to the wall, mace me, drag me on the carpet, try to break my wrist, don't wash my eyes, and lock me in a broom closet for 4 days with no running water. And they don't wash my eyes, and no food or blankets or anything. And then they take me in front of a Freemasonic Satanist judge, and they do a ritual on me. And I feel like now I really, like, I worked so hard to get back to here, walking 10 miles on the track and doing all this stuff for years trying to fix it. And I finally fixed it. I was excited to leave and do all these great stuff. And then they just did all that shit to me, and then cast me out to the wolves, and then lied to the news and said I fought with them until I was ultimately defeated. Like it's some type of biblical thing they did to me to ruin. And now I know that that hometown, they walk around, the Masons will walk around with the logo on their back. They're proud Satanist Masons. Swear to God. Like, go on Tucker Carlson and look at his most recent video describing Freemasonry and what they actually do. I grew up in one of those, or I ended up in one of those towns for high school onward. So then I left, and everywhere I went, because I was in a Dodge Magnum with Tim, smoking Black and Miles with tattoos and a chain and a New York brim. Everywhere I went, they fucking ripped me out of the car, tackled me, searched me, arrested me for nothing, made up shit, disorderlies, wouldn't give me the body cam footage, tried to extort me for as much money as possible. Convinced I was selling drugs and shit because of how I looked. Ended up living with vice lords that were getting off years in a maximum security prison. And I'd go party with people at nightclubs, and that really taught me that there was never anything really wrong with me. I grew up in a place where I wasn't allowed to be confident. I was just a real one, and I was a genius. But they, social conditioning over and over again. If they try to make you believe that to be afraid to be creative and be yourself, had convinced me that there was something wrong with me because I wasn't getting love from the village when I was probably there to save the village. You know what I'm saying? It just got worse and worse. All the kids I tried to save are either dead or on drugs or gone. All the people I tried to save, it's like at their point in adulthood, anything you try to help them with, they just push away and go right back. And even get worse usually. I tried to expose the biggest industry in the world is sex trafficking. I knew, and I found out pretty quickly where in the city I was in, where it was happening. I talked to everybody. I knew where it's Spectrum Youth Services, the Howard Center in Burlington. They go through the YDP program and then down to the Brattleboro Retreat, and they do sex trafficking. So I tried to tell people, and then they trespassed me from all the programs. At one point, the chief of police was giving a speech, and I walked up to him and went on the news, which was pretty cool. And yeah, when I got to Burlington, they stole my car because I had a nice car. They took it out of a parking lot, and they didn't tell me they had it until a month later when I owed them $4,000 so that they could take the $6,000 rims off my car. And then lived in a tent through the winter there. The other half of that winter, I was sleeping in fucking dryers trying to get a job at a gym, and they trespassed me from the gym because they thought I was a junkie or some other thing that had to do with energy, most likely. And because it was only when I'm happy that people come at me. Like if I'm confident, even if I don't say anything, that's when people like really get mad. And I'm like, it's the power that I have inside. That's what I felt it when I was 9, and my dad and I had this power that my friend didn't have, and when we activated that power, they pretty much beat him to death. When we had that power before, they burned the barn down. When I had that power before, my mom went psycho. When I had that power before, after the police brutality, my dad would try to kill me with a hammer and whip me around the house by my leg. When I felt that power, police brutalities in my life all the time. When I felt that power, some random stranger ran into the laundromat and tried to beat me to death with a baton. And then I felt a giant fiery bird attached to my back, and I yelled, "This is not how Casey goes!" And I whipped him on the ground and started hacking him up with the hatchet, chased him out laughing, and then he crashed into a telephone pole. When I felt that power before in Long Lake 2 months ago, the entire, like, a bunch of old ladies started screaming at me, and I'm just standing there. Called the police. The police wouldn't do anything, so they got mad. The Freemasons showed up, and the fucking fire department and everybody, and they're just trying to get the cops to tow my car away. And then eventually, when the cops don't, they throw a temper tantrum, leave, and then come back and tell me they're going to chop me up and throw me in the lake. And the only thing that changed was that I felt closer to being comfortable and at peace and happy, confident, masculine, ready to go charm a beautiful lady and go on an adventure with her, and then make a beautiful song. Get this genius idea that will make me a lot of money and then use it to save everybody. I wouldn't say it's schizophrenic or crazy. I think it's just people are settled into their lives possessed by parasites, and people that are brave scare them because they're brave, and those people are scared. So they go out of their way to try to kill that. And maybe it's the uncanny valley, because maybe I'm more than human. Because both my bloodlines are Rh negative, which means I don't have any monkey. I didn't come from a monkey. I don't know where I came from, but it wasn't from a monkey. We were injected into just like the Bible, and every single text from every single culture across the entire world, something else came down and bred with the people. I'm one of those. We have a rare purple energy. And then the O'Brien is like red and gold, and this like a really high vibrational, fiery, golden. It's like fire water, I guess. Like, I would say purity. And my dad and I have that, which is why we have so much trauma. My family's really traumatized. But my family fell off, and they're terrible pieces of shit now. All they had to do was be brave and keep going, and they didn't. I think they tried. I don't know what happened. And when I was younger, I definitely, I understood that there was another voice, like my imaginary friend, and that thing would teach me about people and teach me about life and would tell me all this stuff about people. I could see, their deepest insecurities, and, I knew how to be mean, because it would tell me how to be mean. So I realized that listening to that thing would kind of guide me in the wrong direction. And it was always at the expense of people that loved me. And that wasn't, that kind of ended around age 11, but that still happened. I knew I was, and it was just my family. Like, one time my cousin told me that I had My Sims Kingdom, and I loved My Sims Kingdom. And then my cousin got My Sims Kingdom, but the way that he was talking about My Sims Kingdom was as if he was it was all about power with him. Now I know he's a Leo. But back then I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know that the Leos have that pride about themselves that they try to exert over other people. I just saw my cousin's trying to steal. My cousin thinks he's something about it is he's in competition with me or something. So I was like, if you really want to be in competition with me, and I attacked him. When kids were trying to fight with me on the playground, I would fucking hurt them. I would hurt those kids really bad. But to be fair, my dreams are like I'm a giant destroying fear, and I'm leading armies to war. Like, my dreams in life, when I fall asleep in my dreams, not my dreams when I'm dreaming, when I'm asleep, is like I'm going through these really hard battlefields to save people, and I put famous people into position with specific roles for what they're doing. So as a kid, when they would come at me spiritually, I would fucking, I had dreams where they tell me I was a polar bear in a past life, and I was a war chief in Celtic lands. I was a war chief in Native America, which is actually ancient Egypt. like a pharaoh war chief type thing, and I would just my whole past incarnations, like some things explained to me in the dreams that you have to understand who you really are to be able to do what you're doing in life. You have to remember, like they tell me to put my hair back to remember. Like as a kid, I didn't even know I was native, and I wouldn't let them cut the tail on the back. I had a rat tail. I wouldn't let them cut it, and now I know like yeah, in a past life, it was cultural and necessary to have that rat tail, and probably my ancestry. You have a dream you go to prison for life, but the inmates are all old WWE wrestlers. I want to say white people. WWE is white people, man. Old WWE wrestlers mean that actors that would fake it for money. Like WWE is completely fake, but like people really believe WWE was real. Isn't that great? Like how many people, like millions and millions of people, would watch WWE and see them going, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" And they would see those skits and everything prepared with the camera and everything, and they genuinely believed that shit was real. So when I hear WWE wrestlers in a dream that are inmates, I think that I think of people that amassed a lot of wealth and power off of lying. Does that make sense? Like leading people to believe a fake thing for profit, and they're punished for it. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did to get there. I don't know why you're in there. I never have dreams I'm in jail. The only dreams I had where I was in jail, it was more like they were testing me. Like I had dreams where I was locked in a room and Vikings were just different white warriors were coming in to kill me, but I was like a foot and a half taller than all of them, and I had like massive, like a claw hand, and I was just ripping them to shreds, and they couldn't kill me, and they didn't know why they couldn't kill me, and they were just sending their best of the best. And then when I finally, like in a room full of blood, and I could feel it and smell it, the iron in the blood, I could feel the warmth on my face still. To this day, I can feel how real it was. At the end of it, I saw this old guy, black guy and skinny, and he was with two little boys, but the boys didn't seem any African or any ancient soul vibe. They were little scared little boys. I thought they were twins. And he was showing them me, like he was taking them through the dream realm and showing them, check this guy out. This guy's fucking cool. This is what you should be, really. Like, you should really learn from this guy. And then, like, a couple of months go by, maybe 6 months go by, and then I'm scrolling, and then I find Andrew Tate. And then Andrew Tate's dad was the guy in the dream. I was seeing Emery Tate, who's a 33 life path like me. That's the energy that I caught. Like, I could see was the 33 life path energy, that ancient old soul. And the two little boys were Tristan and Andrew. After that, I've had multiple dreams. I haven't had any dreams recently with Andrew and Tristan, but 2023, I had a dream about them where I just like sat him down and he was very tiny and I was like this giant sitting on an ancient Egyptian throne and he was like at my feet and I was showing him like, you are a bitch. You are so focused on yourself. You don't even, you're so, you don't even know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're doing in your life, but I didn't like him. Even though I liked him in real life, I thought he was funny. But in the dream, I was like, I didn't like him. The next dream I had with Andrew Tate, was in 2024 when I had moved into that shack in the mountains that I had drawn a picture of 6 months prior when I was writing a story for an animated TV show about a boy that gets lost in the woods and finds me as a king. But in real life, I was the boy running through the woods, and the way that in the story where the boy finds the thing, the exact way that he maneuvers through the woods to find it was the way that I maneuvered through the woods and found exactly what I drew. But instead of it being a big stone castle, it was a tiny abandoned sugaring shack. So I had a dream then when I was in the woods and I was really connecting to nature, like ticks on me and I'm really sick, but then all of a sudden, snap, and I can feel all the trees and all the birds and understand exactly what all the birds are feeling and thinking and all the different energy going around them. And I can feel when the trees are thirsty and emitting this dry, stale signal, and then the rain comes pretty quickly to go rain on the trees that were emitting the signal to stimulate the rain falling. And then through that I was able to call lightning. I have videos on my channel where I literally just use what I learned from nature to call the lightning, and it's right near me. I have videos of that where I can literally call lightning. You know what I'm saying? And I had a dream where Andrew Tate. This was right before he fell off. Like, he was the most Google man in 2022. In 2024, he was kind of at the end of his journey, and he was sitting in he was sitting on a throne, and it was completely made of manufactured plastics. He was sitting on a throne made of manufactured plastics, and it was red and black and gold, like my colors. It was cool. And he was really like ego-y and like really dark energy and like really kind of proud of himself and angry. He was just pissed at me. And Tristan is sitting in between us. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry he's like this. And I'm in this rocking chair, and the rocking chair had plant growths, like it was completely overgrown by roots and trees that grew this rocking chair into a throne, and it was growing around me, and I was completely connected to the entire world as a king governing it. And I was looking at him like, you have no idea what it's like to be a king and to actually care about the world. All that's manufactured plastic that you had other people make for you. I grew this. And then when I got him and I humbled him, I woke up. Excuse me, because they start falling. Yeah, it's all the time here. Stars that turn out to not be stars, and they fly around in zigzags and change direction and all that. You can go back I think it's just called 60 UFOs in one night, and I couldn't get them on video because you couldn't see it with the phone, but I was just sitting out in the woods, and then 60 of those fake star drones flew over, and then they spread out, and then they went all across the state, and then unmarked, not on the FFA, planes and helicopters were flying around trying to follow those drones, but they couldn't go as the drones all went up into the sky, like very high up, and then they disappeared. So the helicopters were like hovering around up there, trying to find them or measure them or something, and then when they gave up and left, then the drones would just bling, they're back to being stars, and they would just keep going. I could vouch for me and my wife, yet when she died, the church turned on me as well. I have recordings of a lot of it. Yes, most of me against. The only one did is a psychological test. Oh my god, that's horrific for that little boy. What little boy are you talking about, man? Oh, I live in Alaska, and 2 years ago I was going out hunting for moose and saw a dad with a kid on his shoulder get close, and a small brown bear had attacked the kid, a half face ripped off. Oh, bad. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, I forgot to mention, now that Albert or Cheryl is talking about the lucid dream, when I was that dream last night, when the lady walked up to me after those two girls died and said, "They're not dead. Look, that's proof for all of you that mind control is real. Look how easy it was to convince you that those people were dead when they're not." Then that's when I woke up and knew it was a lucid dream. So I went, "Oh, just like that president, right?" And then someone else, like a different character in the dream, walked up and was like, "Which president?" Kind of called me out of my bullshit that I was trying to see what they would say. So I just said JFK, and then someone else from inside the dream realm projected the image of a rag doll falling from a roof that they thought was JFK, but really it was a doll. And then the guy went, "Oh yeah, when he fell off the roof," because that didn't happen in real life, but they knew that I was trying to judge what they were gonna say, so they kind of fucked with me. kind of being like, no, we're running the dream here, sir. You're not going to sneak one over on us because we can see what you think. Are we targeted individuals, or are we just more conscious and we're inside of a conscious entity like Satan runs the world? I think it's both. I think it's both. Yeah, I drove them in my side by side 2 miles to get cell reception. Yeah, I live in a place where there's only black bears, and black bears don't attack us. So I'm decent. I did have a dream once. I had a dream once that I was this was back when I was there was a black bear that would run around in the fall and I was chasing it through the woods at night, live streaming. I would live stream me trying to chase a bear and get it on camera. I wanted to run up and touch the bear on live stream, and I didn't. But I got their cubs on video, and then I saw it a few times. But I had a dream where it was like bright. It was really nice. Like the golden light of the sun was really warm and felt like 2022, like that green and orange energy. And I was walking through this like power lines, but there was no power lines, like that size trail. And there were two black bears laying there. So I went up to go record them, and then they ran away. And then a massive brown bear, like a grizzly bear, chased me to kill me, to be like, this is what you do to them. So then I ran onto the highway and crawled up onto like one of the highway signs. And then it crawled all the way up there with me, and then it fell when I jumped off. And then it was about to eat me to death. And then some guy just pulled up and then shot it with a pistol in the head. And then I woke up. I think that was nature telling me, fuck off. You're trying to scare these bears for content. You can find a video of me on acid on my channel. It's called like WIN and then a bunch of numbers. And I'm on acid. And I saw this demonic shadow creature in the woods. And I started talking to it. And I saw that it was showing me, it was like a messenger for a collective of animals. And I was communicating directly to the animals. And then something else, like from the city that I was in, shot into my head and was explaining to the animals what's going to happen in the future. It was showing them like how the world is going to evolve, acknowledging how conscious animals actually are. And I was speaking directly to them, sort of like speaking to nature about what's going to happen in the future. Well, when I'm watching The Walking Dead, I'm watching like a Telltale playthrough from back in the day, and I'm watching Kenny and Clem, and then I watch Ken. Then all of a sudden I get a notification for Kenny Beats, and then I see Kendrick Lamar drops, and then something else with Ken, and then I just had gotten out of a motel where the manager's name was Ken that helped me with the other manager that was a bunch of bullshit with her, and then I'm out in the waterfront, and some guy walks up and goes, "My name's Ken. This is for you." And then he walks away, so I'm like, I might as well do a half a tab of acid. And then I started UFOs, like big fog goes over the place. I'm being pulled to the dock. I go out to the dock, I look up, they go, "We are aliens." And then a big circle starts to move outside of the fog, and the fog goes away, and I feel like I'm going to be pulled up if I accept. Like if I say, yeah, they're going to take me up. So I go, nope, nope, try a different way. Somewhere else. Just walk up and talk to me. So then about a year later in the woods, then they would poke their head out from behind a tree and go, "Hi." And then I was like, I talked about it on the channel, but I didn't go up to them. And then in the dream, I had a dream where I was walking through my old school before I became homeless as a child, and I was talking to all the people that I was hurt that had left me to die. and didn't talk to me after I just vanished, and didn't even check up on me on Facebook or anything. And I was just like sharing the love in my heart, like trying to tell them this is how I feel. And they were just like not even really acknowledging it, didn't care, whatever. Then when I got to everybody and got my closure, then I'm about to leave the school and go out into the great beyond. And then I freeze, and then I turn around and I see that they were all cardboard cutouts. They weren't real. And then the same being that I saw in the woods pokes its head out from behind the cardboard cutout and goes, "Hi." But it doesn't speak. It's just showing me that it had been watching me and understood my life, and it figured out the best way to help me, and it gave me the closure I was looking for to continue on with my life. It had brought me into a dream to give me that closure. I also, when I had the brain injury, I was around people in Section 8, and they were all gay, and they were all old, and I was a Casanova that loved girls. I was a sex addict. I had no gay thoughts whatsoever, but when I had the brain injury, and those were the only people I was around, I was almost molested, and I was stuck in isolation there, feeling the energy of all the people. And the guy flat out told me, "Yeah, I'm a psychic. I study with the Navajo. I can, my friends would show up and fall asleep and wake up and say, I had a dream that your neighbor invaded my dream," in their own words. And then the guy would come down and be like, "I saw you in the dream. I saw it. Didn't we, like talking to the kids. They were like 17-year-old kids hanging out when I was 20. So I didn't like that, especially because the guy was kind of creep. He was a creep. He was doing shit like that. Like I would feel like I was under heavy spell work, and then I would break free, and I would see that like they were eating me and programming me in this horrible stuff. And then I would hear him giggling on the stairs. He was over the stairs giggling as he was like molesting my consciousness. Then I went down to West Virginia, and a pastor at a church kidnapped me. So I lived with a family out there for a few months, or like a month, and then the pastor started saying, "You have a gay spirit. You have a gay spirit. You have a gay spirit." And I'm like, "I'm not gay, bro." I literally took a girl into the van and made out with her just to show him that, like, look, my dick gets hard. I like girls. I didn't show him my dick, but just like I went to a bar and brought a girl back with me and had him give me a ride. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, I'm not gay, bro. But that really like rumination like really fucked with me, because I was like, I wasn't talking to any girls. Like I was feeling worse and worse and worse. Like I had dreams that like Freemasons were ripping my dick off and taking it for themselves. And then I woke up and I was like, I couldn't feel my dick anymore. It was terrible. Torture. Like that's torture. So then I had a dream, because I was always like, then it became like rumination. Like I had to keep proving that I'm not, or else I felt like they were trying to make me that way. Like I had never had those type of thoughts until the basically molested. And then I had a dream where it was like a trans person that was trying to sleep with me, and it was a guy at one point, but then became a girl, and I wasn't attracted to the person. Like I started having dreams where like beings were showing me like, how gay are you? And and then they're like, you're actually not gay. You're like the least gay person that we deal with, actually. That's probably why they, when I woke up, I feel like that's probably why they fuck with me so much. Then I had a dream where a girl fucking stuck her tongue up my butthole, and I felt it, and I woke up and felt it, and I was like, I don't like that at all. And they're like, that's the point. So I'm kind of glad it happened. So I never have to deal with that shit again. And now I don't deal with that stuff. Like I had dreams that would identify my problems in my day to day and would fix it for me. Like now I'm back to, I don't question my sexuality anymore. I know that I'm not gay at all, even if my voice and energy, like you would associate straight people like the darkness down here. And that's just trauma that keeps me from down here, especially when I'm talking to a camera. But yeah, it's just ADHD. That's why my voice is always up here, high pitched, because I'm up there, But I like girls. For a long time, pretty recently, I've stopped just obsessing about getting girls. For a long part of my life, all I would think about all day is girls. And like trying to get good enough to start being a sex addict again. Just running through all of them. and that's gone away. Now I'm just like, I don't really see the like I don't really want to do it anymore. I'm like waiting for the right person now. Oh my God, you were lucky you didn't get molested. Yeah, I think he drugged the food. I went up there to that guy's apartment because he was a psychic and he was doing spiritual stuff that I could see. So I went up there because he said he had solutions and he could teach me what he learned from studying the Navajo and Druidism and traveling around the world. And what happened is like he either drugged me or he cast a spell on me or something that made me like really high, I guess. But I didn't smoke anything. We did eat bacon, like he cooked bacon and we ate bacon. But I don't think he drugged the bacon. But something weird happened. You know what I'm saying? And then I felt like a connection to the guy, like he has spiritual connection, and I saw what he was trying to do and that he was trying to make it sexual. And I was like, I just wanted more spiritual awareness. I didn't want a relationship or a connection. And then with that, like when I got that spiritual awakening, I was uncovering a lot of energies and I got to really understand that guy at a soul level. And then I made the decision in my mind, like, I'm good, bro. I'm good. And I started thinking about my girlfriend. And he started crying. He was like, you just missed out on the best blowjob of your life. And then I got the fuck out of that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I got the fuck out of that bitch. And then after that, he was like putting hex, he was doing spells on me. And then I would feel it, and I'd feel what he was doing, and then he would be giggling in the hallway. I guarantee you, whatever that was, they do it to Aiden Ross, and they do it to all of them. Like the streamers that suddenly turn gay, and then they're wearing the fucking women's dresses and everything. Guarantee you, that's like programming and demonic stuff. And that guy was into it. I don't want to go out, but I don't have a flashlight to go check in on Unalak. I found out from the Dominoes his name is Carl. Unalak's real name is Carl, by the way. They would call that pigeon Carl. And Carl had a friend. And after I took Carl in, because he had a broken wing and leg, the other pigeon left. So like, man, Carl must be lonely. Carl got hit by a car. Carl got ran over. And Carl is trucking along. Part of my smear campaign, they just say, I can't make it there, man, gay or Carl. I have a pigeon with a broken wing laying outside my camper on a mountaintop in the Green Mountains. Because I just went to Domino's to get a pizza, and then he was right outside the door, just standing there. So I caught him and put him in the car, and then I put him in a tote, and I fed him for a few days, and then I let him out because he was overheating, and it smelled bad, and he was shitting everywhere. So I put him outside, and then I've just been slowly. I have enough to take him to a rehabber, but the rehabbers made it seem like they were going to put him down. They made it seem like they said they didn't have anybody to help him, so they would kind of just do what they could do for him. And they didn't say they were going to give him back. They made it clear they weren't going to give him back. So they don't have transportation. They were relying on me for transportation. If they're trying to get me to give them a bird, and they said that they didn't have anybody to help him, and they said they weren't going to give him back, they're going to euthanize the pigeon. So I'm not taking him to the wildlife rehab. I looked it up. They said pigeons heal in 4 to 6 weeks from broken wings. And they don't need a splint. They do it on their own. All these normies think we're crazy, yet oddly enough, I know how to prove these things exist using technology and modified IR cameras and other things to prove it. Yeah, like particles. You get that type of camera that can view particles, and you can obviously see consciousness moving around us. You can see that our bodies are inside our spirits using particles. Particle viewers. They make quantum cameras where you can view particles, and you can see that our thoughts extend from our minds and are intermingling with everything, and that nature is completely conscious. At this point, if you're not schizo, you're a retard by choice. Look at this gift the universe gave me, man. Look at how nice this is, and listen to... It sounds so good, dude. It's kind of out of tune. I think it's time for me to go watch The Legend of Korra and go to sleep so I can wake up and start to do things around the property. I guess not, because the bird just started speaking in code. When I said it's time for me to go to bed, the bird went, that bird was just speaking in tongues. Did you hear that? That's not a bird. I don't know what the fuck that was, but that's not a bird. And now I'm much more aware of everything that I just said and what we're actually inside. And that's kind of scary. And the consciousness of some entity was projecting in the back of my head that I just became aware of. And now I'm kind of scared a little bit, because I now have the awareness that we're actually in some type of simulated thing with things going on around us. And I am fully aware of all the things that I just said about entities working in my life. And I just became very consciously aware that they are still around me. And I don't know what to do at this point. Like, what the fuck what would you do? How do we live like this? It's real. It's real. I don't know. I quell that awareness with cope. Which is why I often waste my life doing nothing and living in survival and being an embarrassment walking around out of my mind, because it's terrifying to be as aware as I am. It sucks. It sucks. But I stay brave and try to hold on to it. All the animals are going off now. Like, there's howling. Please tell me it's like 4 in the morning. Yeah, okay, cool. It's 4 in the morning, which means they're waking up. But that was terrible. I hate realizing that there are conscious entities that we can't see with our eyes that are just always around us. Because it makes you sort of that we do have control, but also there's a chance that we have no control whatsoever. Like, I tune all that shit out just to function. And that's why I live in garbage. I live in literal garbage. Because I just disassociate so I don't have to deal with the truths of of the real shit that happens in my life that I speak about. So the mental illness is really just fear. Unalak, tomorrow we're gonna set up more of your house, Carl, and then I'm going to clean out the camper and move all the trash to a trash pile. Then I'm gonna get all my laundry from down there. I'm going to do my laundry, try to do my laundry, and then at least get it out of the thing, clear out the bottom there. Maybe test out somebody gave me a weed whacker, they're not sure if it works. But if I can get the weed whacker working and I get the oil and the gas mixture correctly for it, then I can start to weed whack the top here. Try to go down to like the other stuff. I don't want to wreck the weed whacker with the pricker bushes and everything. And then I have to take all these curtains down and wash the whole this room, trying to get the mold and dust out of this bitch so that I can close the windows. I am gonna close these windows. Because I feel the presence of something out there. Like I feel like there's something out there that's aware of me, and I don't like it. I'm getting the uncanny valley out there. Isn't it weird that like sometimes the phone never lags and I have full service, and then sometimes I have no service at all? How could I love a God that keeps making pedophiles? Lost souls run from broken homes and wind up around pedophiles. They tried to make me gay. I feel weak when I try to explain it. Anything to take the pain away. Lay down, smoking on a black and mild. Wait. Anything to take the pain away. Lay down and disassociate, smoking on a black. How could I love a God? Souls run from broken homes and wind up around pedophiles. They try to make me gay. I feel weak when I try to explain it. Anything to take the pain away, lay down and disassociate, smoking on a black and mild. I wrote that in 2024. I'm just another bum hunting for a cigarette. And all the rich folk are laughing at me. Sitting in pain, wondering why they can't see that everything was taken from me. And I'd do anything just to feel peace. My love is eternal. You gon' get what you deserve. Why'd my service cut out? Robot dogs, mosquitoes with vaccines, stubborn white hold me here. Arms ain't got. I'm finally free. Around like the leaf. Dream of the best way. My love is eternal. So my service cut out when I felt like there was something that wasn't human, like some type of alien thing floating behind the tree over there, projecting some type of consciousness jammer. And now I feel a lot of anxiety and some weird, like, just some weird shit coming through. So I'm going to go to bed. Good night for watching. Take care of yourselves. Fasting sunlight probiotics. I'm supposed to say that if you want to donate, my Cash App is in my bio. I don't know why, but it told me to say it. Good night.